If you don't like me, go bang your head on the wall for all I care. Fuck yourself. I couldn't care any less.
Sometimes I look around for someone who might understand
Hey
it.
guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi. If you're not new here, nice to have you back. So basically, this is going to be a full chit chat video. My very first video that I'm just like talking throughout. And I'm going to be talking about my university journey from 100 level, or should I say first year to second year, or 200 level is like the same thing. And some of the things that I've learned and some of the things that I struggled with and still currently struggling with, actually. Yeah. Without wasting much time, let's just get into the good stuff. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about three things majorly. I'll be talking on academic pressure, peoples and friendships, and then boys and relationships. Yeah, I'd say these are the three things that I might have faced in some kind of way in my university journey in my first year, even though I rejected some. But yeah, you get the idea. So basically, those are the three things that I'm going to be talking about in this video. And I'm going to start with the academic pressure. Academic pressure is something that I have always known, and it's something that I did go through back in secondary school. Secondary school, I was this type of student that always wanted to get straight A's. Always wanted to get straight A's. Like, I was such a crybaby back in secondary school. Like, not like I cry for anything. Like, the only thing that could ever make me cry were my academics. If I didn't do so well in a particular test or examination, I would cry my eyeballs out. Like, I would cry so much. I would beg the lecturer, the teacher, back then, the teacher in secondary school, not lecturer. I would beg the teacher to please just add something so I'll get a good score. That was me back in secondary school. There was this pressure for me to always be on top, for me to always get nothing less than 80 in every subject that I was doing, and I would do almost anything it took to get there. Yeah, definitely back in secondary school, I was this type of student that always wanted to just get good grades, and the pressure that I put on myself to achieve that, at a point it just wasn't healthy anymore. There were so many nights back in secondary school that I just deprived myself of sleep. Like, I would stay throughout the night studying for a test or an exam. Like, if I don't get all the marks of that test or exam, my entire life is over. My destiny is ruined. Yeah, that was me. Me depriving myself of sleep back then definitely did have negative effects on my appearance. Like, all this acne on my face. You see all these ugly pimples on my face? I feel the academic pressure, the stress that I subjected myself to back in secondary school definitely has some kind of contribution to it, for sure. And I'm still currently trying to recover from my acne. I don't know if it's getting better or worse, but yeah, I'll figure that out when I'm much older. So, yeah. All that stress that I put myself to back in secondary school, going into university, I did not want to put myself through that stress anymore. I did not want to have to stress myself, have to push myself over the bar, all in the name of passing an exam. Going into university, I plan to just wing it. I plan to just go with the flow. I plan to just study as much as I can and close the book when my body's telling me to close the book. But just like listen to my body more, because back in secondary school, I completely ignored all the signs that my body was giving me to rest. I turned a blind eye to that and just kept stressing myself. But no, going into university, I didn't want to do that anymore. Not like I wasn't going to study or I wasn't going to do well or just not care about my academics anymore. No, just this time I wanted to pay more attention to the signals my body was giving me and actually, not push my body to the extent that is going to be negative for me, health wise and appearance wise. That was my plan going into university. But when I got into university, everything changed. Everything changed. The words CGPA, foundational level, and Dean's List dawned upon me for the very first time in my life. Like, I've never heard those words before till I got into university. I have learned that no matter your faculty, no matter your department, your academic performance in your first year and and your final year are very important, especially your first year. Your academic performance in your first year is one of the most important out of all the levels or all the years you are going to be in the university. First year, final year. Your academic performances in those 2 years determine your fate, whether you pass or you fail. And once I finally understood that, my whole plan of not having to stress myself, my whole plan of just going with the flow, yeah, that plan went down the drain. All of a sudden, I just felt this need to be in the Dean's List. Like, to me, it's necessary. To me, it was like, if you don't get into this Dean's List, you failed. That's me. That was me back in first year. Even now, that's still me now. Yeah, I just felt this need to be in that group of people, and the academic pressure came back. The pressure to get good grades, the pressure to be in the Dean's List, the pressure to get a good CGPA, everything hit me. It hit me hard, especially during the examination season. During my examination seasons, I feel like the academic pressure hit me the hardest it has ever hit me in my entire life. Tell me which sane person would deprive themselves from not only sleep, but from taking a bath, from brushing your teeth, from scrubbing your armpit, all in the name of studying for a test or an exam. Which sane person does that? Which sane person is willing to compromise their self-hygiene, their self-care, all in the name of studying for an exam or a test? Like, if you fail that test or exam, your life is ruined. Who would do that? Would you do that? I did that.
Stop it. Get some help.
In as much as I'm so disappointed in myself now for actually doing that, that is how far the academic pressure pushed me. Like, during the examination season of my first year, I remember there are some days that I just don't go into the bathroom. Like, I don't see the need to take a bath, freshen up, clean myself up. I just don't see the need. I didn't see the need for that back in my first year. My mentality back then was like, the time you're using to take a bath and freshen up, you can use that time and go through a few topics in your book. You can use that time and cram a few lines before the exam. That was my mentality back in first year. Like, the academic pressure, it blocked my it blocked my logical reasoning. Yes, it blocked my logical reasoning. Just imagine, I feel like I really pushed myself over the bar way worse than when I was in secondary school, to the point that I completely compromised my self-care. I completely compromised my personal hygiene. Like, literally, I remember for 3 days straight, I didn't take a bath. I didn't brush my teeth. I'd probably be stinking that day, but I just didn't care. I'm like, so what? All I care about is passing this exam. Let me just study. That was me. That was me back then. And it's crazy. It's insanity. It's disgusting. It's demeaning, disappointing. And looking at myself now, I ask myself, how could you be so what on earth? How could I have let the academic pressure hit me so hard that all of a sudden my self care just isn't important anymore. Like, that is so crazy to me. And even though I did achieve what I wanted to achieve because your girl is in the dean's list, I mean, yeah, you feeling me? Even though I was able to achieve that, I still feel like I could have handled it a lot better because I'm not the only person that got into the dean's list. There are other people that also got into the dean's list, but I don't think any of them had to compromise their self care and personal hygiene like I did. Definitely, the academic pressure hit me so hard. I didn't really prepare for it. I didn't plan for it. It's something that just hit me like hits me wow like it just hit me really really hard, and that's how bad the academic pressure really really hit me you know and definitely I'm not the only person that faced this academic pressure, but am I the only person that took it a bit too far? Yes, I mean, back in secondary school people always used to say that I like to overdo things, and maybe they're not wrong, because I still can't believe that I actually like oh my god, like I'm just so disappointed in myself. Like, I could have handled that a lot better. I could have, I could have. I didn't have to do that. But it's okay. It's okay. I have learned my lesson. Definitely there has to be some kind of balance between hard work, self-care, even faith. Yeah, there has to be this kind of balance among the three in order to succeed in life. And even though I did really, really well in the hard work part, like I studied like there was no tomorrow. Like, you guys should have seen me. I did well in the faith part as well. Definitely my prayers were heard. God did not fail, for sure. He never does. But when it came to the self-care part, over 10, I got negative 0.5. I just, huh. And it's so, so disappointing because I'm a girl. We're supposed to be clean. Girls are supposed to be clean. And there I was, not even taking a bath for like three whole days, not cleaning myself up in the name of studying for an exam. Yeah, that's how crazy it was. And I low key can't believe I'm saying this on camera. Don't judge me, okay? Please don't judge me. I mean, you can if you want. I don't care. But like, it's not my fault. It was the academic pressure. Like, it just hit me so hard. Like, it literally blocked my logical reasoning back then. But like I said, it's okay. I have to learn how to study as much as I can, study as hard as I can, and at the same time take good care of myself and look good. I feel like success and looking like a queen, I feel like they work hand in hand. You can't be successful and look like shit. No, it doesn't it doesn't work like that. I've learned that your self-care is something you should never compromise for anything or anyone. Okay? It may not be a priority, but it should be mandatory for everybody, not just women alone, for everyone. Okay? Your self-care is something that you don't necessarily have to play with. It's non negotiable. So I have been able to understand that. I have learned that. And moving forward, I am going to try. No. I will. This is not a matter of trying. I will put or give more attention to my body, my personal appearance, and the time that I keep for maintaining myself. Yeah. A little birdie agreed with me that majority of my seniors do not like me. That same birdie also told me that there's this kind of perspective people have of me. Now, do I care about that? No, not at all. But do I wonder why? Yes, at times. First and foremost, I am going to be completely honest. I wouldn't really call myself the nicest person. Yeah, yeah. Someone can not be mean, but not be nice at the same time. Is that possible? Well, that's how I would define myself. I wouldn't call myself a mean person, but at the same time, I wouldn't call myself the nicest person, you know? And I'm this type of person that doesn't really like to associate much. I'd call myself an introvert, medium key, almost high key, yeah. I would not call myself an extrovert, so I guess I'm an introvert. I love to be on my own. I love, love, love my own company. Like, if I could have an entire building to myself, I would take it in an instant. Like, I just love solitude so much. Not like I hate people, but I enjoy my own company to the point that I just feel like I don't need anyone else. Yeah, that's me. And I made it very, very clear in the way that I act, because I act the way that I am. And I'm someone that doesn't really care to associate with people. I'm someone that doesn't really care to look at your face and say hi. Like, I don't care about that. If I don't know you, if I don't care about you, if you're not my friend, there's no need for me to look at you and say hi. For what? Even though I've seen your face a couple times, if you and I have never really had a conversation, if I don't care about you, you're not my friend, then why on earth should I have to look at you and say hi? For what? I just feel like it's not necessary. Because I don't care about you. I don't care about you. So why am I telling you hi? Like, I just to me that's just not necessary, you know? And I guess because of that, people have perceived me in a type of way. Like, in my first year, I just didn't really talk to people as much. I was just on my own, you know? It's possible that the academic pressure might have contributed to that as well, because, the academic pressure, it hit me really hard, and I just didn't really care about talking to anyone unless that person can help me pass my exams. Yeah, that was me. So, is it possible that the academic pressure could have contributed to the fact that I just didn't really interact with people? Yes. Yes, it is very much possible. Is it possible that that is just my personality naturally? Yes. It is also very, very possible. Because of that, maybe. I guess that's the reason why not just my seniors, I feel like people in general, majority of people in general just don't like me. So I heard, so I've seen. I don't know why, but I just don't care.
We do not care.
Like, I'm like, okay, you don't like me, so what? Who are you? I've looked at myself, you know, and I acknowledge the fact that I'm not really a social person. I acknowledge the fact that I'm not the nicest person, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Yeah, everyone is different. Everyone can't be the nicest. Everyone can't be the most social. There has to be some people that just don't care, and I think I'm one of them. And I accept it. I embrace it. The only thing that I will say I do need to work on is my conversational skills. You know, I just don't know how to keep up a conversation. Like, I'm terrible at that. I don't even like conversation low key. Like, I just don't like talking low key. But I feel like I need to work on my conversational skills because I'm just really bad at keeping up conversations. Like, you could be talking to me, I'll just be silent. Like, I just don't know how to keep the conversation going, I need to work on that low key. And the fact that I don't like conversations, actually. Like, I don't like conversations. One of the reasons why I find it difficult to keep up a conversation, because low key in my mind, I want the conversation to just end. Like, I just want you to stop talking. Yeah, that's me. And I feel like that is not nice, because if I continue in that way, I will not be able to bond with people and build new platonic relationships. And, in life, so I've heard, you cannot be an island. You need people to succeed. You need people to survive. It seems like a golden rule of life, and I can't argue with life. So I guess I just have to adjust. I feel like one of the reasons why I don't really like conversations is because of my fear of vulnerability. I just don't want this situation whereby I open up talk to someone, you know, talk to you, basically tell you how I am, what I like, this, that about myself. And then the next day, I hear everybody talking about it. Like I had a conversation with everyone. I just don't want a situation whereby the person I'm having a conversation with just goes and then starts telling everyone our conversation. There are people that just don't care about that. Like to them, it means nothing. To them, whatever you've said is as good as public property. That's it. They just go out and splat out everything that you guys had a conversation about. And I do not like that. I've been in that kind of situation before back in secondary school. I remember I would talk to somebody and tell them this, and then the next thing they're going out and telling everyone else. And I'm like, what the heck? How dare you? Because of that fear of having our conversation become public property and everyone knows what exactly we're conversating about, I just decided to shut myself out. I just prefer not to even engage in the conversation. I'm just trying my best to avoid this thing Nigerians call see finish. Yeah. I'm just trying my best to avoid that. I just need to learn how to not shut everyone out, because there are some people that have shown me they want to be my friend. There are some people that have shown me that they're interested in me genuinely, platonically, and I'm just like throwing them aside because I don't want to conversate because of my fear of being vulnerable, because of my fear of being seen finish. That's how Nigerians would put it. I realize that isn't nice. In life, when you see a good person with a good character that just wants to get to know you, that just wants to be your friend genuinely, I don't think it makes sense that you should push that person away. And I feel like I've done that to some people in my first year. And looking back at that, that is not nice. And I should work on that. And I am trying to work on that moving forward. That is the only thing that I feel I should work on. But apart from that, I like every other part of me. I like the fact that I'm not the nicest person. I like the fact that I do not care to look at you and say hi. I like the fact that I'm stingy. Yeah. That's one thing I also want to work on as well, moving forward. My ability to say no.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
I have got to learn how to do that. Back in my first year, I always believed that I could say no easily, but turns out I can't. Turns out it's actually really, really hard to say no, especially when someone is asking you for that thing and it's right in the person's front. Then you just say no to the person. Like, it's so hard. It's not a bad thing to say no. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but I personally just find it difficult. I thought I could do it, but it's actually really hard, and I need to work on that. Yeah. Me being stingy, it's not because I don't want you to have the things that I have. It's more like a fear. Like, I'm just afraid that if I give you my item, it'll never be the same. Yeah, in as much as that is crazy, that's just my mentality. That's just my take on being stingy. Yeah. And that is why I say I am not the nicest person. But yeah, I like my stinginess, as crazy as it is. I like my stinginess, and I've also tried to show people. I know I have showed people, like my roommates, I've shown them countless times. I don't know, I'm just not comfortable giving out my items. In as much as some people will find that very, very odd, I've never really been the type to care about what people think anyway, so I don't know, you can think what you want. Yeah, that's my take when it comes to interacting with people. I feel like I should work more on my conversational skills. That is the only thing. But apart from that, whether you're a girl, whether you're a boy, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're an animal, whether you're a kid, if you don't like me, go bang your head on the wall for all I care. Fuck yourself. I couldn't care any less. I'm not gonna change myself because of you. Whoever you are, you're not worth it. Believe me, you're not worth it. So, Yeah, that's that. Romantic relationship, romantic connection. Okay, first of all, do I believe in love? Yes, yes, I do. Am I ready for love? No, no, I'm not. I mean, this is just a personal thing, but I think that love is something that should not be played with. It's something that requires a whole lot of emotional, psychological, and physical maturity, especially when you're looking at the type of love that exists between life partners. Yeah, that type of love is something that should not be played with. And I don't think it makes sense for teenagers like me to be engaging in that type of love because we are too young
What?
to understand what it actually takes to be in a real, long lasting relationship. That's just my personal take on that, you know. And back in secondary school, I never really engaged in any of that lovey-dovey stuff. Whatever relationship you're seeing in secondary school, that's not a relationship. That's paradoxical confusion. Paradoxical confusion. Curiosity. They're just curious. They just want to know what it feels like to be in a relationship, to have a boyfriend, to have a girlfriend. They just want to know what it feels like to make out, you know, to do all that shit in the dark corners. That's basically what the summary of relationships in secondary school. That's my take. That's my opinion. That's what I've seen, you know? In as much as there are some relationships that bloom, like there are some beautiful marriages out there that started from when they were teenagers, you know, I feel like those people are very, very lucky. But in this time of the world, this Gen Z era, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. I feel like teenagers are just going into relationships to know what it feels like. It's just curiosity that's driving them, you know? Most of them, most of them. So back in secondary school, I never really did any of that. Never did any of that. No, I never did any of that. And going into university, it was the same thing. You know, my first year, I never really engaged in any type of shit with anyone. You know, I never really like love just wasn't a priority for me. Like, I just feel like it's not time. You know, I believe a lot in time management. There is time for everything, believe it or not. And I feel like majority of people are just so impatient. Just be patient and trust that it's going to happen when the time is right. And that's me when it comes to this whole thing they're calling relationships, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend, love. That's just my take on this. I believe that when the time is right, it will happen. And right now, the time is not right. I feel like that type of love, there's a lot of things attached. A whole lot of maturity attached, physical, emotionally, uh, psychologically, a lot of things are attached. And I personally believe that I'm not ready. I mean, I'm just an 18-year-old, even though I'm turning 19 this year because it's 2026, right? Yeah, it's 2026. Happy New Year, guys. But yeah, even though I'm turning 19, nothing changes the fact that I'm still a kid. I mean, what do I know? What do I know about being in a relationship? So I just feel like I'm not ready. You know, I just feel like I'm not ready. Back going into first year, that was my perspective. Even now, as I'm in second year, it's still my perspective. I just feel like it's not something that I should go into right now because it's a lot and I'm not prepared. Physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, I'm not prepared. So, yeah, I just stayed away from that in my first year. You know, I just tried my best to make it clear that I'm not interested in whatever you're trying to do. There are some guys that have tried flirting with me and whatever, you know, trying to shoot their shot, but I shut it down immediately. I made it really clear that whatever you're trying to put down, I'm not going to pick it up. That was me in my first year, and that is still me moving forward. I just feel like majority of people my age in relationships, it doesn't really pass the intimacy of it. It's nothing more than that. From what I've seen, yeah. I feel like majority of people my age, including me, do not really understand what it means to actually be in a real relationship. you know? In as much as it looks so good on TikTok, all these internet couples, they making love look like a good thing. And for sure, real love is beautiful, but it's also hard sometimes. It's also really, really hard. And it's a lot more than just the physical aspect. And it's crazy because there are some people that base their entire relationship on the physical intimacy, which is so stupid because the physical intimacy is like a fraction of what that relationship actually requires to grow and be successful, you know? That's just my opinion. I don't know. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. You can say whatever you want on that, but when it comes to relationship and boys, this is just my perspective. I'm just not ready. My goal right now is to just make money. Who doesn't want to be rich? Who doesn't want to be influential? This time of the world, everyone cares about your cash. And that's the goal right now. I mean, graduate with the first class, become rich, and then I can start playing the field. But, right now, it's just not a priority for me at this point. And I know that there are some people that are so heavily invested in that. Well, that's your cup of tea. I know what I want. I want something real. I don't want a little guy looking for who to experiment with. Damn! That's not what I'm looking for. So, yeah, love just really isn't in the picture right now for me. It wasn't in the picture in my first year, still not in the picture in my second year. Don't know if it will be in the picture in my third and fourth year, but one thing I do know is currently right now, I'm not prepared for anything relationship. Anything boyfriend, boys, I'm just not prepared. Yeah. This is how much I have experienced so far in my first year. Definitely, I feel like the academic pressure is the one thing that hit me most. Out of all the three things that I spoke about, the academic pressure was the toughest. It hit me the hardest. That's fine. It's all part of growing. It's all part of developing, and moving forward, I'm actually really excited to see what other years of my university life has in store. Actually, I don't know. I feel like I haven't even started. Actually, I feel like I still have a long way to go and a lot of more things to learn, a lot of new things to experience and stuff like that. I don't think I want to change that. I like myself the way I am, in as much as majority of people, so I heard, so I've seen, don't like me. But in life, I feel like no matter what you do, there will always be this group of people that just don't like you. And you can't kill yourself. You just have to accept it and keep going forward. Their dislikeness towards you, or their disliking towards their disliking towards you is not going to stop the blessings that God has kept for you. So why should it matter whether people like you or not? I am the way your son don't need a gun. That's one thing that I've been able to learn. Yeah, I've learned that in university. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed what I said. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. Thank you so much. So much. Please do feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. I'm actually really curious to hear what you guys have to say. Please do feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
So what? I tell you,